Have you ever looked at your hands one morning and wondered when those dark spots appeared? Maybe they started as one small mark near your thumb. Then another appeared on your cheek. A few months later, there were more. Now every time you look in the mirror, they seem darker, larger, and harder to ignore. Most people hear the same explanation. It's just aging. But after more than 20 years working with older adults, I can tell you something important. That explanation is incomplete. Because while age spots become more common after 60, aging itself is not the true cause. Your skin doesn't simply wake up one day and decide to create brown spots because you've reached a certain birthday. Something else is happening beneath the surface. And once you understand what that something is, you'll realize why so many expensive creams fail, why countless treatments produce disappointing results, and why some people in their 70s have remarkably clear skin while others develop dark patches almost everywhere. Today, I'm going to walk you through the 5 hidden factors that can contribute to age spots, hyperpigmentation, and uneven skin tone after 60. Some of them may surprise you. One of them has nothing to do with the sun. Another may be affecting your skin every single day without you realizing it. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why addressing the root causes is far more important than covering the symptoms. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, how old are you and where are you watching from? I read as many comments as possible, and it helps me create videos specifically for people in your age group. Now let's start with something that almost nobody explains properly. What exactly is an age spot? The medical term is hyperpigmentation. Inside your skin live specialized cells called melanocytes. Their job is straightforward. They produce melanin. Melanin is the pigment that gives your skin its color and helps protect it from ultraviolet radiation. When everything is functioning normally, melanocytes distribute pigment evenly across the skin. The result is smooth, consistent skin tone. But over time, certain biological processes can disrupt that balance. Instead of distributing pigment evenly, some melanocytes begin producing excess melanin in specific areas. The pigment becomes concentrated, and gradually, a dark spot appears. At first, it's barely noticeable. Then it becomes darker, more visible, harder to ignore. What's important to understand is that melanocytes don't become dysfunctional simply because you're getting older. They respond to signals, and when those signals become distorted, pigmentation changes begin to appear. That's actually good news, because signals can be changed. Let's talk about the first major factor. And no, it isn't the sun. The first factor is chronic inflammation. Inflammation has become one of the most important topics in modern medicine, particularly when it comes to aging. Now, when most people hear the word inflammation, they think about pain, a swollen knee, an injured shoulder, an infected cut. But the type of inflammation we're discussing today is different. It's low-grade inflammation, silent inflammation, the kind that can exist for years without obvious symptoms. You don't necessarily feel it, you don't see it, but your body does. Research increasingly shows that chronic inflammation influences nearly every major aspect of aging. Heart disease, cognitive decline, joint problems, metabolic disorders, and yes, even skin aging. Think of inflammation as a constant background irritation affecting your cells. When inflammatory chemicals remain elevated for long periods, melanocytes become more reactive, more sensitive, more likely to overproduce pigment. This creates the perfect environment for age spots to develop. And here's what makes this especially important. Many people focus entirely on what they put on their skin. Very few focus on what's happening inside their body. Imagine noticing water stains on your ceiling. You could repaint the ceiling every week. You could buy premium paint. You could scrub the stains endlessly. But if the pipe above the ceiling is leaking, the stains will keep coming back. The stain isn't the problem. The leak is. Age spots often work the same way. The visible spot is not always the root issue. It may be the external sign of internal processes that have been building for years, and one of the organs most closely connected to those processes may surprise you. It's your liver. Now, before you click away thinking this sounds unrelated, stay with me. Because what I'm about to explain could completely change how you think about skin health after 60. Your liver is one of the hardest working organs in your entire body. At this very moment, it's helping process nutrients, break down waste products, support digestion, regulate metabolism, and assist with hundreds of biochemical functions. Every day, your body is exposed to substances that must be processed and eliminated, food additives, environmental pollutants, metabolic waste products, medication byproducts, normal cellular debris. Your liver helps manage that workload. As we age, however, physiological changes naturally occur. Blood flow through the liver may decline. Metabolic efficiency can decrease. Recovery becomes slower than it was decades earlier. When that happens, inflammatory burden throughout the body can gradually increase, and that inflammation can influence the skin. This doesn't mean the liver directly causes age spots, but it does mean that supporting overall metabolic health may help create a healthier internal environment for your skin. In the next section, I'm going to show you why your gut may be even more important than your liver when it comes to age spots, hyperpigmentation, and healthy skin after 60. And what scientists are now discovering about the powerful connection between your digestive system and the appearance of your skin. Before the break, we talked about inflammation and why age spots are often a reflection of internal processes rather than simply the passage of time. Now we're going deeper into one of the most fascinating discoveries in modern health research: the connection between your gut and your skin. At first glance, they seem completely unrelated. One digests food, the other covers your body. But scientists now understand that these two systems communicate constantly. In fact, researchers have given this relationship a name: the gut-skin axis. And once you understand how it works, you'll never look at age spots the same way again. Your digestive system is home to trillions of microorganisms. Some are beneficial, some are neutral, some can become problematic when they grow out of balance. Together, these organisms form what's known as the gut microbiome. Think of the microbiome as an internal ecosystem. When that ecosystem is healthy, it helps regulate inflammation, supports nutrient absorption, strengthens immune function, and even influences skin health. But when the balance is disrupted, problems begin to spread far beyond the digestive tract. One of those problems may show up right on your skin. Studies have found that people with poor gut health often experience higher levels of systemic inflammation. Remember what we discussed earlier. Inflammation acts like fuel for hyperpigmentation. The more inflammation circulating throughout the body, the more likely melanocytes are to become overactive. And over time, that can contribute to uneven pigmentation and dark spots. Here's where many people over 60 run into trouble. The microbiome naturally changes with age. Beneficial bacteria often decline. Digestive efficiency decreases. Medication use becomes more common. Physical activity may decrease. Dietary habits sometimes become less diverse. All of these factors can influence the health of the gut microbiome. The result? A body that becomes more susceptible to inflammation. And that inflammation doesn't stay inside the intestines. It affects the entire system, including your skin. This helps explain something many older adults notice. Two people can spend similar amounts of time in the sun, yet one develops extensive pigmentation while the other doesn't. External exposure is only part of the story. Internal resilience matters too. Now here's the encouraging news. The gut microbiome is remarkably responsive to lifestyle changes. Even small adjustments can begin creating meaningful improvements. One of the simplest places to start is increasing fermented foods. Fermented foods contain beneficial bacteria that help support microbial diversity. Examples include plain yogurt with live cultures, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, traditional fermented vegetables. These foods have been consumed for centuries across many cultures, not because people understood microbiology, but because they noticed health benefits long before science explained why. Another important factor is fiber. Beneficial bacteria need food, and their favorite fuel is dietary fiber. When fiber intake is low, beneficial bacteria struggle to thrive. When fiber intake increases, those bacteria often flourish. Excellent sources include oatmeal, beans, lentils, vegetables, apples, berries, ground flaxseed. And here's something many people don't realize. Fiber doesn't directly feed you. It feeds the bacteria that help keep you healthy. That's why experts often refer to fiber as a prebiotic. It's nourishment for the microbiome. Now let's talk about another contributor that becomes increasingly important after age 60. Blood sugar. Most people associate blood sugar with diabetes. But blood sugar fluctuations affect far more than glucose levels. Repeated spikes in blood sugar can increase oxidative stress and inflammation throughout the body. Over time, this process accelerates cellular aging, including skin aging. One reason highly processed foods are so problematic is because they often create rapid increases in blood glucose. Sugary beverages, refined pastries, sweetened breakfast cereals, candy, many packaged snack foods. These products deliver large amounts of rapidly absorbed carbohydrates while providing very little nutritional value. The body pays a price for that imbalance, and the skin often reflects it. This is one reason many dermatologists and longevity researchers encourage emphasizing whole foods, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, healthy fats, lean proteins. These foods tend to support more stable blood sugar levels while simultaneously providing nutrients that skin cells require. But there's another hidden factor that deserves attention, and it's one that most people underestimate: stress. Not occasional stress, not a difficult day, not a frustrating afternoon. I'm talking about chronic stress, the kind that follows you everywhere, the kind that becomes so familiar you stop noticing it's there. And what chronic stress does to the skin may surprise you. Because even if your diet is excellent and your lifestyle habits are improving, chronic stress can continue fueling inflammation behind the scenes. In the next section, I'll explain exactly how stress influences pigmentation, why some people seem to age faster than others despite healthy habits, and the surprising role sunlight actually plays in the development of age spots after 60. Let's talk about something that affects nearly every person watching this video. Stress, not the dramatic kind, not the kind that comes from a major emergency. I'm talking about the quiet, persistent stress that becomes part of everyday life. The bills, the health concerns, the sleepless nights, the worries about family, the constant stream of negative news. Over time, many people begin to think this level of stress is normal. But your body doesn't see it that way. Your body treats every source of stress as a biological signal. And when that signal remains active day after day, year after year, it begins changing how your entire system functions, including your skin. Here's what happens. When the brain perceives stress, it activates a sophisticated survival response. Stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline are released into the bloodstream. In short bursts, this response is helpful. It's designed to keep you alert and prepared for challenges. But when stress becomes chronic, those hormones remain elevated far longer than they were ever meant to. The result is increased inflammation, reduced recovery, poorer sleep quality, and accelerated aging throughout the body. Your skin is no exception. In fact, researchers have found that chronic stress can impair the skin's natural repair processes. It can weaken the skin barrier, increase oxidative damage, and contribute to changes in pigmentation. Many people spend hundreds of dollars on skincare products while completely ignoring one of the most powerful influences on skin aging: the state of their nervous system. Think about it. Have you ever gone through an especially stressful period and noticed your skin looked worse afterward? Perhaps it appeared duller, more tired, more uneven. That's not your imagination. Your skin reflects what's happening inside your body. And when stress becomes chronic, the effects often become visible. This brings us to another factor that is frequently misunderstood: sun exposure. Now let's clear something up immediately. The sun is not the enemy. For years, many people were taught to fear sunlight entirely. But the truth is more nuanced. Sunlight plays essential roles in human health. Among its most important functions is helping your body produce vitamin D. Vitamin D influences immune function, bone health, muscle strength, and many aspects of healthy aging. Yet vitamin D deficiency remains extremely common among older adults. Some estimates suggest that a large percentage of adults over 60 have suboptimal vitamin D levels, and many don't even know it. Why? Because vitamin D deficiency often develops quietly. There's no alarm bell, no obvious symptom, no immediate warning sign. It can slowly affect energy levels, immune function, muscle strength, and overall health without attracting attention. Now, what does this have to do with your skin? Emerging research suggests that vitamin D may influence several processes involved in skin health and cellular renewal. While scientists continue studying the exact mechanisms, one thing is clear: healthy vitamin D levels support overall wellness, and healthy skin is often a reflection of overall wellness. This doesn't mean you should spend all day baking in the sun. Far from it. Excessive ultraviolet exposure absolutely contributes to skin damage. but avoiding sunlight entirely may create a different set of problems. The goal is balance, moderate sun exposure, smart protection, and strong internal defenses, which brings us to one of the most powerful concepts in healthy aging: oxidative stress. Every day, your body produces unstable molecules called free radicals. These molecules are a normal part of life. However, excessive amounts can damage cells and accelerate aging. Sun exposure, pollution, smoking, poor diet, chronic stress, all can increase free radical production. Fortunately, your body has a defense system. Antioxidants. Antioxidants help neutralize free radicals before they cause significant damage. And some of the best sources are found in ordinary foods. For example, carrots contain beta-carotene, a precursor to vitamin A that supports skin health. Tomatoes contain lycopene, one of the most extensively studied antioxidants in nutrition science. Berries contain polyphenols that help combat oxidative stress. Leafy greens provide numerous protective plant compounds. Green tea contains catechins, powerful antioxidants that have been studied for their potential role in healthy aging. Notice something interesting? None of these foods are exotic. None require a special membership. None cost a fortune. They're available in virtually every grocery store in America and Canada. That's one of the most encouraging things about healthy aging. Many of the most powerful habits are surprisingly simple, but there is still one major factor we haven't discussed, and according to many experts, it may be the most important of all, because even if you support your liver, even if you improve gut health, even if you manage stress, even if you get appropriate sun exposure, none of it matters if your body doesn't have enough time to repair itself. And that's exactly what happens when sleep begins to deteriorate after 60. In the next section, I'm going to explain why sleep may be the missing piece of the puzzle, the daily habits that support healthier skin from the inside out, and the practical routine I recommend for adults who want to age with healthier, more vibrant-looking skin. Now we arrive at the factor that ties everything together: sleep. If inflammation is the fuel, stress is the accelerator, and poor lifestyle habits are the spark, then sleep is the repair crew. Without adequate sleep, the body simply cannot maintain itself efficiently, and this becomes increasingly important after age 60. During deep sleep, your body performs some of its most important maintenance work. Damaged cells are repaired, inflammatory activity is regulated, hormones are balanced, immune function is supported, skin cells renew themselves. Think of sleep as your body's overnight restoration program. Every night, your body attempts to clean up the damage accumulated during the day. But when sleep becomes fragmented, shortened, or poor in quality, that repair process becomes less effective, and over time the effects begin to show. Many adults notice that after several nights of poor sleep, their skin looks different, less vibrant, less even, more tired. The reason is simple: the body hasn't had enough opportunity to recover. Research has repeatedly shown that poor sleep is associated with increased inflammation, accelerated aging, and impaired skin barrier function. In other words, your skin often reveals what your sleep habits have been hiding. This is why no cream, serum, or cosmetic procedure can fully compensate for chronic sleep deprivation. Healthy skin starts with a healthy body, and a healthy body requires adequate rest. So what can you do? Let's put everything we've discussed into a simple, practical framework. First, support your body's natural anti-inflammatory processes. Focus on whole foods, vegetables, fruits, legumes, healthy fats, lean proteins. Limit highly processed foods whenever possible. Second, support your gut microbiome. Include fiber-rich foods daily. Consider fermented foods such as yogurt, kefir, or sauerkraut if they fit your dietary preferences and medical situation. Third, manage stress intentionally. Not because stress can be eliminated, it can't, but because your response to stress can be improved. One simple technique that many people find helpful is controlled breathing. Try this before bed. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold gently for 4 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6 seconds. Repeat for 2 minutes. Simple, free, and surprisingly effective for helping calm the nervous system. Fourth, maintain appropriate physical activity. You don't need extreme workouts. You don't need marathon training. Regular walking is one of the most powerful habits available. A daily walk supports circulation, metabolic health, stress management, sleep quality, and healthy aging. Sometimes the simplest solutions are the most powerful. Fifth, prioritize sleep. Aim for a consistent bedtime. Reduce bright screen exposure late in the evening. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Develop a routine that signals to your body that it's time to rest. Small improvements in sleep often create noticeable improvements in overall well-being, including skin health. Now let's address something important. Many people search for a single miracle solution. One cream, one supplement, one secret ingredient. But healthy aging rarely works that way. The body functions as a system. Your skin reflects that system. When you improve one area, you may see some benefit. When you improve several areas simultaneously, the results are often much more noticeable. That's why the most successful long-term approach isn't chasing the newest product. It's supporting the foundations of health. Better nutrition, better sleep, better stress management, better movement, better overall wellness. Because age spots are often a visible reminder of what's happening beneath the surface. And when you support the body from the inside out, you're doing far more than helping your skin. You're investing in your long-term health. Before we finish, I want to share one final thought. Getting older is not something to fear. Aging is a privilege denied to many. The goal isn't to look 20 again. The goal is to remain healthy, strong, vibrant, and confident at every stage of life. Your skin doesn't need to be perfect, but understanding what influences it gives you the power to make informed choices. And that knowledge can make a tremendous difference over time. If you found this video helpful, let me know your age in the comments below and tell me which of these factors surprised you the most. Was it inflammation, the gut-skin connection, stress, sleep, or vitamin D? I read your comments and they help me create future videos that answer the questions that matter most to adults over 60. And if you're interested in healthy aging, brain health, heart health, mobility, longevity, and practical wellness strategies for life after 60, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. I'm Dr. William Bennett. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.